welcome back to the Slip and Lid podcast with Barry and Ryan. This week's going to be a little bit different. Usually it's a bit of sport and a bit of kind of everything we throw into it. This week we're going to talk about Repeal the 8. Now we have got a little bit of mixed messages about this off both sides, but we said it is one of the biggest things of our generation, so
it's all over the media at the minute.
Yeah, how can we not talk about it, in fairness? So we have Aimee Weller on as well with us here today to help us kind of talk through this and even kind of have us teach us something as well, because
that's what the podcast is all about. If we don't know about something to its full extent, we try to get people on and educate us. So Aimee, you're a spokesperson from the pro-choice.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into that.
So, well, I'm almost 27. I have 2 small children. They're nearly 6 and nearly 4. And I've always been pro-choice. I was actually born in the UK where there is no 8th Amendment. I grew up there and moved back home to Ireland. My mum is Irish, my dad is English. Spent our whole childhoods in Arklow. So it was only when I was pregnant the first time that I realised the 8th Amendment had so much more meaning. It never really occurred to me. I hadn't really ever heard of the 8th Amendment, and that's only 6 years ago. It's not that long ago. But it's only when it affects you or you actually realise it's there that you start thinking about it. I'm very lucky that the friends I met after baby was born, they're all pro-choice then. So I was very lucky that when I met them and we started having discussions and talking about it, that I realised that I was very pro-choice.
Like, what for the people that don't know what pro-choice is, and me and Barry, we don't really know its full extent, but give us a kind of a simple answer. What if someone asks you what is pro-choice?
So it's giving the choice to every woman, transgender man, any person in the world, the country, everything. The choice and the right to have bodily autonomy over their own body, to make a choice that is right for them. That there's no kind of
there's no buts.
There's no buts. You know, some people say I'm pro-choice, but well, then you're not really pro-choice. If you're pro-choice, you're pro giving every person a choice. It's not just about abortion either. The 8th Amendment, so it equates the life of an embryo or a fetus or to a woman, right? So it gives equal value, right? So even during pregnancy and childbirth, the minute you're pregnant, for the 9 months you are pregnant, or 10 months, it's actually your right to refuse any tests, procedures done on you is gone. Your consent, especially during labour and childbirth, you have to have a section, and you say, well, why do I have to have a section? Oh, because the doctor said so. But I want to know what the risks are. There's no time for that. Even though it might not be an emergency situation, your consent is gone. They completely take it away, because they will just say, oh, there's a risk to your unborn child.
It is mad to think, like, in this day and age, in 2018 now, like, that, as you say, like, there is 10 months of a woman there that she actually has no control over whatever happens to her there. You know, like, the last referendum on this was in 1983. So
I wasn't even born then.
You know, that was about 31 years ago.
31, Jesus, quick math, right?
So anybody who voted in that referendum, right? Would be what, 49 now?
Yeah.
So anybody now of childbearing age has never voted in a referendum.
And then even in that referendum, it was a 67% win. Like, if you think about it,
for pro-life.
For pro-life, But like, if you think of it, 1983 Ireland compared to 2018 Ireland,
completely different world, completely different country. Even way of thinking, and I'm sure back then the church played a massive part and religion played an absolutely crazy part.
But unfortunately we still have a massive hold over a massive majority of the country. Is still, it's like a Catholic guilt. Do you know, it's like that guilt, Catholic, I don't know,
it's just this big massive stigma.
Like I think,
did you see during the week actually there was a video, and it was up online, and the Minister for Health at the time of the referendum, he said that the pro-life, well, anti-choice, I like to say, rather than pro-life, because I'm pro-choice, I'm still pro-life, I'm pro-woman, and pro everything to do with that. Like, I'm pro-life because I value the life of the mother. So the anti-choice crowd brought in lots of priests, lots of money, lots of American and they literally put this up every single person in the country, like all of the ministers, politicians, TDs, everybody that was in the Dáil. They basically told them if they did not vote for this amendment, their seats were lost, because they held the money over and the power over every single person. And even the Ireland Twitter account this week, did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
So a young American woman was taking over it, and anyways, somebody did some research, as people always do, and they found out that her father had actually posted a couple of weeks ago to say his daughter was going to Ireland, and she was going to volunteer with the Life Institute to basically intervene with the 8th Amendment, pro-life. And when it was said then on the Ireland account, she said she wasn't here, she was here to volunteer. And then it turned out that somebody had said, well, her visa actually isn't, she can't volunteer or work.
Okay.
She only has a tourist visa. So then she backtracked on herself and said, oh well, I'm just here to learn about Ireland. But her father had already, like, somebody had obviously screenshot the post on her father's Facebook page to say that she was coming here basically to interfere with.
Like, even when you're talking about it, you said it's pro-life or it's anti-choice or whatever. Like, when me and Barry were doing a bit of research on this during the week, because we know it's such a, like, we put up a poll on our Instagram asking people, look, should we do this or should we not do this? It's just such a massive touchy subject, and we knew we were probably going to get a bit of bad feedback, but a good feedback, whatever. But
we did get a bit of bad feedback, and we were talking to yourself just before we started, and I loved your attitude towards it. A lot of people not a lot of people, certain people have texted us saying that we shouldn't have an opinion on it.
We don't have an opinion,
because we're men, and you had a kind of fresh attitude about it. So if you want to.
So, just because you're men doesn't mean you don't have a say, but what you don't have a say in is taking the choice away from a woman. So your girlfriends, you might have daughters in the future, wives, you name it. You can be surrounded by women, aunties, cousins, nieces, you name it. It does affect every man, but it's a man, it's like the man has to support the women in his life, you know, and be there for them. And it's not, we're not saying no, you can't have a say in this, because you can, but don't be taken the right way. You all have bodily autonomy for your whole lives, but women don't.
So why should it be any different?
Why should it be any different?
Like, it's just mad because I'll just go back when we were doing our research, we were trying to figure out even what the difference was between pro-choice and pro-life and all these terms, and like it you know, we were finding it really difficult.
It was like at the start we were talking about this, and it was during the week and we were talking about this, will we do it, won't we do it. We put the poll up on Instagram, as you said, and we got 86% who said that we should do it. Now we did get a few messages and all like that, but look, you're obviously going to get people that aren't 100% on board with it. And it surprised me a lot of the people that were kind of texting more men as well.
Yeah, I think it was all our negative feedback or all the people that said no. The small percentage of people that said no were all men.
Yeah.
But look, like, this whole podcast, the Slip and Live podcast, is basically, like I said, if we don't know about something, we get a particular topic. Me and Barry come at the start of the week. What are we going to talk about? Bang, right? Okay, that's what we're running with. Now, is there anyone that we can get on that we know or that we don't know, and they can come on and tell us about it and teach us about it? You know, we're not a podcast that's just going to talk about sport all the time. You know, your man scored a great deal for rugby, Sexton or whatever. Like, saying we could talk about MMA and UFC and all that, but like, this is such an important topic. That's why we have
the biggest topics of our generation.
That's why we're talking
even
about
as a male, like, you can see what women are going through now. You can see the buzz around. Everyone's talking about this, and it's not even just the women. So how can you not talk about it?
Yeah.
Do you know? I know I'm sorry, I'm touching the table again right now.
Yeah, I know. I hate when you touch the table because it buzzes the sound. But like Ireland's such. I think it's compared to. I have a few like statistics here that I've highlighted and stuff. Like, Ireland has one of the most restrictive abortion laws in the European Union. Like, Malta is the only one that's more strict.
Yeah.
Like that.
But can we all like agree? A lot of like we've all grew up in Ireland.
Yeah.
A lot of the whole Irish thing is like, oh Jesus, we won't talk about that. That's a little bit kind of a bit of a sensitive issue. We won't talk about that. We won't mention it. You know, that's the way I would have been brought up. It's just the way kind of older Ireland was.
Yeah.
Where now I think is the first time ever where like our generation
we're openly talking about stuff.
Everything, like anything that comes across. Like, if this was, like, say this was 31 years ago, I guarantee it nobody was talking about this. There wasn't men talking about this out in the pubs. There wasn't you know, women talking about this to it. Well, maybe the few women talk to each other, but it's not as open. It's not
never
out
public.
there.
Yeah. We have to remember now we have social media.
Yeah.
That's a massive part.
Like, it's just what you can learn from the internet will either be your biggest like achievement. You know, you learn so much, or it'll be your biggest enemy.
You
know, and it's making sure you have your research and like with everything. You're writing a paper for college and you take something from Wikipedia. They're gonna laugh at you.
Half it's gonna be wrong.
You know, so it's all about doing research, making informed choices, and coming to informed conclusions. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, you have to be careful of the internet, but you can learn an awful lot from it.
Like, I have a stat there. Since 1980, 150,000 women has left Ireland to have an abortion.
And it was only in 1991, I think. I can't remember that. Or 93 was it, that the right to travel was put into was a clause so that you couldn't be prosecuted for procuring an abortion in the UK.
Jesus.
Do you know? But still, at the moment, if you are found to have procured an abortion on the island of Ireland, you can be prosecuted for 14 years in prison. Now, and you think about all of the rape cases recently, any cases, how many years has a man or woman, I'm not saying it's man or woman that has been prosecuted, been put away for a hell of a lot less than 14 years. So say a man rapes a woman, she ends up pregnant, she takes an abortion pill, it's found to have taken the abortion pill. Now, it's never happened that somebody has been prosecuted for it. That's never happened.
The law still is in place.
But the law is still there. But she could go to prison for 14 years for taking very safe, that are legal everywhere else, or legal in Ireland, pills, which is what an abortion up to 12 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks depending, and if you've no other medical history and stuff like that, can be safely taken at home. And that's it. Because this picture painted now by the anti-choice side is horrific. Like, if you saw any of the videos and the posters that they have up and stuff, it's not like that. Like, and they say, oh, this fully formed, and it's been proven that this picture that they've put up is actually somebody has actually created that from a mold.
Yeah.
It's not even real.
Okay.
Do you know?
So they're
Fabricating.
they're fabricating the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually talking to, say, a local politician today in work about it, and her opinion on it was that exactly like that the pro-life side of it were manipulating the media with these images, with these videos that aren't, like, she's a mother herself, and she was saying, like, they're saying X amount of weeks on, this is what your baby looks like, you're killing this baby, and that is not what a baby looks like at that many weeks.
No. Well, as somebody who has had a miscarriage and has passed my fetus at home, I can tell you now, it does look nothing like that.
Yeah.
No.
There's another statistic there as well. When you're talking about the abortion pills, I was reading one that in 2014 1,017 abortion pills were seized by Irish Customs, and that 10 women travelled from Ireland to Britain every day to have an abortion.
Yeah.
Like, that is an absolutely crazy figure, and that's coming from the Rape Crisis Centre, the National Rape Crisis Centre of Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm presuming, like, people can turn around and say, where's he getting these figures from?
No,
That's where I'm getting my figures.
It's on their actual website.
And that's actually probably not even an accurate amount of women. It is probably higher. That is taken from the amount of women who go to UK clinics and give an Irish dress. So some women may give an English address or a foreign address. They may travel to the Netherlands instead. There's all these different situations, but that is only a small estimate.
Yeah.
Of,
like, even in the EU, Malta is the only other country that is more restricted than us, so it is open to anywhere in the EU. These women can go and get the abortion, or get an abortion pill, or, you know, go about it that way.
Now there is so we have Women on Web in Ireland, who are an excellent group of women who you go online and you ring a real woman. You can talk to a real woman, you can meet a real woman, you can have the IFPA, they're an excellent organisation that have counsellors, and Women on Web supply, like, they risk 14 years imprisonment for supplying these pills.
The abortion pills?
The abortion pills.
Okay.
So it's estimated about 3 women a day, maybe more, take these abortion pills. Not a day. 3 women a day.
Yeah.
Take these abortion pills at home, unassisted.
Yeah. Like, I'll say something that the pro-life campaign's really kind of driving. Are they going to start using this as a contraceptive? Are they going to start using it as a kind of, you know, nearly a get out of jail free card?
Right. Well, first of all, abortion can't be used as contraception.
Yeah.
Contraception prevents a pregnancy. So it can't be used as contraception. Anyways, that's factually incorrect.
Okay. They are driving this though.
They are driving this. But nobody just goes and has an abortion without really thinking. And a high percentage of the women that procure an abortion in Ireland are already parents. And actually I have some statistics here.
We love statistics on this podcast, so read them out if you have them.
Oh, they're here somewhere. Hang on now.
Yeah, no bother.
I don't have them. The amount, so it was actually the numbers and the statistics of the ages of women.
Yeah.
So the smallest category, the smallest amount of numbers were women aged between, it was actually, I would say, more teenagers under 16 to 25 years of age.
Okay.
That was the smallest amount of women, right?
Okay.
And after that, it jumped massively. And even the over 40s, I think in 2016 there was 225 women that were aged 14 over who travelled to the UK for an abortion.
Oh my God.
So when they say, all these young ones going out having one night stands and then going and having an abortion.
Yeah.
It's not like
that's
that.
The smallest percentage.
Yeah, that's the smallest percentage, and that is purely down to good sex education, parents being completely open with their children. Like in my house, when we talk about, like, when the kids are going to the toilet or anything, or if they have questions, like, we're not prudes. They come in when you're in the shower, they're there when you're getting dressed, and if they ask, like, what's that or what's that, we use technical terms, because I'm sure you remember being a teenager in school and the teacher turned around saying, oh, the vagina, and everybody goes,
everyone laughs.
exactly.
you know, and the giggles. Whereas I think the newer generation, no, not everybody would be like that, but when you're more open with your children are more open with you, and they trust you more, and you trust them more, so it works. But it's not a million years ago that sex education was literally in. Girls and boys were separated. That was it. Do you know? And they didn't really talk about it. And even now, sex education in schools is actually run by
they get some of the
Catholic Church.
Yeah, like I remember.
I remember when I used sex.
If you think about Catholic Church are against contraception. Do you know, it's not a million years ago that the condom trains. You know, so
like, if you do think about it, I don't want to really blast the church or anything like that, but since this was last day,
you can still be a Catholic, you can still be Christian, but you can also be pro-choice. Do you know? We're
not saying it's like pro-choice against the church.
No.
We're just saying, you know, you can be both. But
we don't want, like, the church involved in state matters, if you get me. Do you know? It affects, like, when it comes to this, it's really, really important that it's understood about a woman's choice and her body, and like, you can't have the church's reigns, like the Sister of Mercy tried to gift land for the National Maternity Hospital. No. Because why is a church organisation, they would have somebody on the board. Do you know? So
it's there could be a statement as well said, like, the church has an ancient way of thinking, and as we said, Ireland 31 years ago was completely different to Ireland today. Like, Ireland has moved on massively, but the way that the church, and because the church and Christianity, Catholic and all that stuff, Catholicism, how do you say it?
Catholicism.
That's so deeply rooted in the country, like, and that's such an ancient way of thinking. And if we're gone so beyond that now, surely to God that our laws and our stuff needs to catch up. Now, I'm not saying that I'm pro-choice. I'm not saying I'm pro-life. I haven't decided what I am yet.
Right.
You know, so, but what I am saying that maybe we need to look at this more. You know, maybe the head guys up in the Dáil and stuff like that, they need to catch up and say, hold on, guys, we're not the Ireland 30 years ago. We're not the Ireland 2 years ago.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I just put it back to another big vote that happened recently, which had been the gay rights vote, the marriage vote. Like, if that was happened in 1983, there was no way that was being passed. So that came in, it was passed. You know, we've talked about it. We feel really strongly that it was great. So I'm saying I'm not saying them as them. I'm saying if a gay man can get married, why can't a woman have choice of her own body? It is 31 years in the difference. As we said, like, none of us were alive.
No.
Like, I'm 27. You know, I'm starting early or going into my 30s now. You know, it's our generation now. Let us have a say. Let us make the decisions for our generation.
When is this going to come to a conclusion here? When are they talking?
So the date that seems to be mentioned the most is 25th of May.
Okay.
Now, the 25th of May would be perfect because students won't have left the country yet. The Leaving Cert won't have started because there's Leaving Cert students who can vote. And you know, as soon as they're kind of over and you're into June, students start going away for the summer. They go on their J1s, they go interrailing, they go travelling, the whole lot. So, and the student vote is actually massive. Massive vote.
Majority of students are over 18 anyway, so they're qualified to vote. I know, just a sidetrack there, I know so many students actually, and it really annoys me, that are over 18 and they never vote. Doesn't matter what's coming in, they never vote. I vote as many things as I can. You know what I mean? And if I don't know about something, say a week ahead, like say next week, there's going to be a vote about something, and I don't know what they're voting about. I don't know yes or no what I'm going to vote. But I'll surely do a bit of research and find out and come up in my head. Right, I'm going to vote for this because I have a right to do it. But there's so many people that don't vote, and people over, do you know what I mean? And it's stupid.
And making sure you are registered to vote.
Yeah.
Even if you're registered years and years and years, you might think, sure, I'm registered to vote. Unless you check the register, you could be gone off that register.
Yeah.
Do you know? So
that's another massive thing. Go out and vote if you have the right to vote. Jesus Christ, your grandfather's fought for you to have a vote, you know? So.
Yeah, exactly. And trying to get people on board with voting.
Yeah.
I think that seems to be the biggest issue. And even there's people that could be involved in campaigns.
Yeah.
And they're not even registered to vote.
Yeah.
Do you know? And it might be, and it comes to it, and it's too late.
Yeah.
So making sure you check the register and make sure you are registered to vote.
As we've said, this is massive for the country. It is right up there, I'd say, with the gay marriage vote.
No, it's beside it. Yeah, right beside it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone wants the kind of people out in numbers as it was for that. In my opinion.
What's your opinion? As a man's man, what is your opinion
in
on?
my opinion?
Yeah. No, I'm not asking you whether you're pro-life or pro-choice. I'm just asking you. What do you think?
I honestly do think, and I know it's only my opinion now, but I do think someone should have the right over their own body. I'm not saying that it should be on every street corner that, oh right, let's go have an abortion, great, it's that easy. I just think how scared and alone must someone be going to England, going to a different country, going wherever it is and wherever to get it done, and then after it you're sitting in a hotel room or you're getting a plane straight back alone, or even if you have, maybe some people with them, but the majority would be maybe by themselves, scared the whole time, where if there is something set up in this country, in Ireland, for our own people, that you can go and actually talk to somebody about it.
It makes it safe
as
well. Making abortion illegal just makes it unsafe.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop it from happening.
No.
Yeah, it still happens.
Do you know, it still happens. And this is another thing. I saw this poster. Big billboard. Anti-choicers seem to have lots and lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
Big massive billboard saying 1 in 15 pregnancies in the UK end in abortion. Right. This is what they put up on this billboard. Don't let that happen here. And I thought to myself, do you know what? That's what they want. They just don't. It's like a not in my house kind of attitude. Do you know? They don't care that women go off and have to catch a plane, like may have to take a bus, may have to like all these things. Like there was a story on great page on Facebook. It's called In Her Shoes, Women of the 8th, and it's telling the story. She had been fasting because she had to fast. She was trying not to get sick. She basically hid herself on the plane in a bundle. Do you know? She got off the plane. She was met by a taxi. She said, and it was organised by the clinic where she was going. The taxi, and he brought her to the clinic, and she went in, and she had to wait. And I think it was about 1 p.m. before she went for her surgery. Yeah. So she had been fasting that whole time. I think she could be a diabetic as well. I'm not sure. I think I read, and so it was actually dangerous to her as well. Yeah. So she had her surgery, had to wait a couple of hours, taxi straight back to the airport on a plane, and her husband picked her up from the airport, and she said that it was 24 hours since she had seen her children and been in her own house. And she said she was so lucky to come home and have a loving husband look after her and be surrounded by her 4 children. But then she said it's thinking about women who don't have that kind of support. Yeah. Those women that are totally alone. Like that must be horrific.
Like that's one woman's story there. Like how many women has said, like, since we have this statistic that is 150,000 since 1980s, that's 10 times our local town's population.
Yeah.
Do you know when you put it in like that? Yeah. So how many of them stories are absolutely horrific that they've never told, they've kept themselves and haven't told anyone?
Yeah. And now this Facebook page has a lot of stories, and and there's even been a man's perspective of his wife's abortion. So, like, it's an excellent page. If you want to read stories of real women, do go onto the page. It's In Her Shoes, Women of the 8th.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it's excellent. And it's run by an absolutely amazing woman. She's fab. She's a mother of 3 children.
Yeah.
Do you know, so it's run by somebody who is sympathetic as well.
Yeah.
It's
very good.
Where does your view stand on, like, when we started, we said there's such a major difference in between, you know, let's have an abortion every, you know, that they're pushing the about,
like,
and then
so there's like a scale, as I call it. I like to say, right? So you have anti-choice on one end of the scale. Let's say nobody can have an abortion.
Yeah.
Right. And the other end, like, the other end of the scale then is like, everybody has to have an abortion. Pro-choice is in the middle.
Right.
Saying, we want everybody to have choice. If you don't want to have an abortion, don't have an abortion.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
It doesn't affect you personally. If Sally down the road has an abortion, but that does not affect your life.
Yeah.
Do you know?
You're just giving them the choice.
You're giving somebody else a choice.
Yeah, we're not saying, like, we're not bringing in that, look, you have to go and have an abortion instead and all like that. You're still giving that woman a choice, whether you can. She still has that choice now. She can go try to travel to England, do it through all means necessary, a horrible journey and all that, or you can go to like a local clinic or a clinic in your own country and get it done.
And it won't be like a clinic type structure when it's brought in. More than likely it will be done in our maternity hospitals. It'll be GP led for the first 10 to 12 weeks, because it is an abortion pill. And then if the woman isn't suitable for the abortion pill, then she'll be referred to. And the IFPA give excellent, you can look up the IFPA online, excellent advice for women, and they provide counsellors as well. And then we get into the point where we have women who find out that their babies have fatal fetal abnormalities. And those women are put in the worst situations. They are told in this country that until either that their much wanted, much loved baby, unless their heartbeat stops in utero, nothing will be done. And that is their only option. And if you think about a woman who, either her first pregnancy, second pregnancy, third, fourth, fifth, you name it, how that woman handles that news is completely different. Some women do decide to continue on their pregnancies. A lot are forced to continue on their pregnancies in this country. But some women just can't. They can't get up and face a day and, you know, well-meaners going, oh, when are you due? Oh, that's a lovely bump and all. And all you want to do is hide. Like, that must be one of the most harrowing situations, that you're told your child is going to die either in utero, during birth, or shortly after birth, and there is nothing that can be done. And then that woman then has to carry that pregnancy. And especially when they have other kids. Oh, the baby. And you have to try and explain to them, well, the baby's not going to come home. And then you have anti-choicers. There was a video, I'm not even going to say what was in the video during the week, it was going around Facebook, and it was horrific, especially for any woman that was in that situation. And what people don't understand is that late term abortions, yes, they do happen, but they make up 0.1% of all abortions. This is in the UK, this statistic from the UK. They take up 0.1%, and it is literally for fatal fetal abnormalities in cases where the woman's life is at risk, incest and rape. Okay.
This is after the 12 weeks, is it?
This is more between a late term abortion would be considered like, as anti-choicers would say, up to birth.
Okay.
Right. But somebody isn't pregnant and then just decides, oh, I don't want to be pregnant anymore, I'm going to go have an abortion. That doesn't happen. And it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no doctor, no counsellor would ever, like, it just doesn't happen. It happens in very extreme cases. And so it's, say, from 20 to 23 weeks, 24 weeks on, that this can happen. But it's not the picture that anti-choicers paint. It is an induction of labour and the birth of that pregnancy. So it's not, I think people think of late term abortions as something absolutely horrific and ludicrous and all this happens and this happens, and I'm not going to go into it because it is horrifically upsetting and not fair for anybody that could be listening, or for me to say it. And I don't want to say it either because I don't want to give the justification to anybody for me to say that video put an imprint on my mind. Yes, it did, because it was absolutely horrific, and it upset me for the whole day. And to see people commenting and sharing this and believing this,
do you think it's
it made
tactics?
me very angry. It's total scare tactics. It's like pleading to the vulnerable, do you know, anybody. And it's mainly kind of people who are on the fence who don't know. It's that kind of pulling them, like, by being so completely ludicrous and over the top with everything that they think they're going to put them on their side, you know. So it is total scare tactics.
Like, as you said.
And another scare tactic that they use is, I'm sure everybody has heard this, that they say Iceland is going to be Down syndrome free because of abortion.
Okay.
However, that just simply isn't true. So the World Health Organization, the WHO, I think that makes me laugh every time. The WHO,
not the band.
So they compare birth rates based on one fraction ratio, and it's per 100,000 births per year, right? So in 2012, 4,533 children were born in Iceland. One baby was born with Down syndrome, right? So that works out as 22 to the birth rate. That's what it works out as in the WHO statistics. So 22 per 100,000. So the population of Iceland is 334,252, right? The population of Cork is over 208,000. So you could imagine, like, the statistics will always be skewing, kind of. And you know, they say, well, there was no births in this year and this year of a baby who had Down syndrome. And, well, that's not surprising for the low birth rate. And stop using Down syndrome as a scare tactic. Like, even Down Syndrome Ireland have put out statements, stop using our children as a way to get
as an example or a reference.
Don't. Like, it's not, like, they don't want,
they're not a statistic.
they're not, they are a
People.
person with feelings, emotions, every right to have to not be used in
they can
a
go around and
debate.
have completely normal lives. Like.
It's exactly like compared to 50 years ago, people who are born with Down syndrome have lead normal, perfectly normal lives. And that just goes to show that you can't use somebody else for your own benefit. Don't use people for your own, for getting what you want. Your point across. You know. And the next day, after the Down Syndrome Ireland released their statement, the anti-choice decided to put a big, massive poster on their vans, I don't know, billboard van things, whatever, with a child with Down syndrome on it, and they still went ahead and did it, and gloated and made a big deal about it, and it was like, you completely disrespected every single person. Not every single person with Down syndrome. Their parents, their grandparents, their brothers, their sisters, their nieces, their nephews, their aunties, their uncles, everybody.
Yeah. To get their point across.
To get their point across. And it wasn't even a correct statistic that they used. It was totally debunked.
I am hearing a lot of this that they said they're using the scare tactics, or they're using, these pictures and videos that are just, they're not the right statistics, they're not the right images that they're using. It's just, now we will have the chat about this next week as well, but we're here today and now, so we're going to talk about that. Everyone can't be wrong. This is going around on social media, it's going around on Twitter. I started following a few pages today, and a lot of people are saying that, especially with these posts and this campaign that they're driving now, that it's just not true, that it's completely just that, as you said, that there's someone on the fence, oh my god, I can't do that, to shock people into voting.
That's what it is. It's like, it's a shock factor. It's like, oh my god, but some of those people will go away and research and go, well, is that true? But the majority of people won't, and it will stick in their head. Like, you obviously have been upset by this image, this video, you know about it. No, I haven't seen it. And a lot of things, and even yesterday outside Leinster House, there was a massive poster, and it compared a living, breathing human child, right, that was a victim of abuse, right, and this picture of this child, and I'm sure this child did not give permission for their picture to be used, compared it to abortion, and had a picture of a fetus saying abortion is Ireland's next abuse scandal. It's like, there is no comparison there.
No, I'm trying to work that out in my head here.
Yeah. And they had this up near primary schools, secondary schools. Women could have been walking by that haven't had miscarriages or abortions themselves. Like, that is, or women that had grown up, men, every single person that had been a victim of abuse had to walk past this poster.
What's worse is that if there's anyone just walking past, a young person that's easily led or and they're seeing this poster, they're going, fuck abortion, kind of a thing, do you know what I mean? When not knowing the ins and outs of it. I think what would be a great thing to, like, and we view on now tonight, and then next week we have the other side, kind of, that's, do you know what I mean? There seems to be two sides in this, one for and one against. I think what would be great for the country to have, if people don't understand, like me and you that wouldn't know the ins and outs of it, if there was somewhere to go and somewhere to actually learn, an unbiased place, tell you the truths and facts of both sides, and then you can make up a decision for yourself, because there seems to be they're wrong, or we're wrong, or they're wrong, or we're wrong, do you know what I mean? Or who's right and who's wrong, and I think that'd be a great thing for the country to do, even if there were seminars or somewhere to go to get straight facts, statistics, science, exactly, and let people then, the people that haven't made up their minds, let them make up their minds then.
Yeah, well, the report from the Citizens Assembly is an excellent resource for statistics from professionals.
Yeah, and that's unbiased. That's not either for. That's
no. Okay. That was the Citizens Assembly. That was and then the Oireachtas report, and it is all fact based. Everything is fact based, and they're great resources.
Okay.
And then obviously I'm going to say abortion rights campaign. Excellent. They have all information about facts on abortion, statistics, the whole lot. And then you have Parents for Choice. They have a website and a blog. There's lots and lots of resources if you want to learn. Now, the anti-choice side is very wealthy.
Yeah.
In that they do these great big campaigns and there's an awful lot of money goes in, and that's why you see an awful lot of sponsored posts on Facebook, Instagram. You see sponsored videos, you see people like I've seen bumper stickers, you name it, I have seen it, and I've gone and said, where do people buy these? And I've gone, they're free.
Yeah.
Like, that money must be crazy.
Yeah. Just to get their agenda out. Yeah.
And I saw today actually that somebody had posted up that a letter came from an anti-choice group, and it was asking for donations. The donation amount started at €5,000. Like, and there are people that will give that money.
I seen a thing on telly, it was on Vincent Brown, and they were talking about the money actually behind it, that there is so much money behind it, and they were talking of this American. It's an awful lot of to have an American
Christian groups, the Iona Institute, Life Institute, you name it, there is money.
What does America think it is? What is their stance on abortion in their country?
Well,
in the country of America, what's the thing there?
It depends on, it's state by state.
Yeah.
So it's very different in every state. But then you have kind of more Catholic states would have
like
a way tighter, stricter.
But a person would just have to say they were in a state that didn't.
They would have to travel.
Yeah. So it's the same kind of thing.
It's the same. Yeah. But it's an awful lot of money is pumped, and it's not, and there's no actual figures. You can't. It's all hidden.
Yeah, they were talking about this American billionaire that has the backing.
Oh, I think what you're talking about is now that the anti-choice side have said that we're funded by George Soros and we have billions and billions and billions because he gave us money.
Yeah.
Who is George? So
George Soros donated to Amnesty International for their funding for Repeal the 8th. But the money was actually handed back.
Okay.
Because it kicked up such a fuss. But the anti-choice love to say, oh, Soros, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm part of groups and I know, like, there is literally no money. Like, the Coalition to Repeal the 8th, they have a thing up, donate €8 to repeal the 8th. €8. And then you compare it to this letter that came in for €5,000.
Yeah.
Do you know? So there is absolutely no comparison whatsoever. Like, there is no funding given to the Coalition to Repeal the 8th, the abortion rights campaign. It is literally people like me that go, no, I want to support them because this is so important. But all they're asking for is €8.
Yeah.
Do you know?
It's not gonna break it.
Yeah. So,
versus $5,000.
Yeah, and they're not giving money from the US and the UK or wherever. Like, this money just seems to be pumped into Ireland because it's like they want to use our little island as an example.
Yeah.
You know, they want to keep our little island Catholic and Christian and it's kind of, you know. And
you said about, like, say this little island, like, as we've said, like, Malta's the only other country that has stricter laws than us.
Yeah.
And does that not
stricter laws in terms of this?
Yeah, in terms of this. Does that not show how far in the Stone Age, in the past, that we're living right now? Like,
that's why I said of ancient thinking, and that's probably down to the ways of the church.
We are one of the only developed countries in the whole world to have a ban on abortion.
Yeah.
Like, that is scary.
That's mad.
That is scary.
Do you know, and especially, like, as much as women's came on and it's like equal rights, equal pay, equal voting, everything that's came on, but there's still this. Now, I know I'll probably get stick over this as talking as a man about it, where I have no opinion on like that, but like I do have an opinion because like I'm a human at the end of it. We're all here, we should be 50-50, we should be equal. So if it's okay to get paid the same as a man, how come it's not okay to have the same rights to your body as a man?
Exactly.
Do you know?
Yeah.
But how is money different than your own body?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've nearly covered everything.
I think that was good. Yeah.
Amy, is there anything, to anyone that's listening to you now, is there anything, we're going to start closing this up, is there anything that you'd like to say or close us out on? Or
So, just anybody that is in a situation themselves, like there could be somebody listening that is in a situation themselves. You have excellent resources, Women on Web, Abortion Rights Campaign, IFPA, and then, like I was saying earlier about fatal fetal abnormalities, the anti-choice side say that there is no such thing as fatal fetal abnormalities. There's only life-limiting conditions. But yes, there is, like they said, they used the example of a woman who was pregnant, her baby's skull didn't form, brain didn't form, right? There was no, it's called
it's got something.
Yeah, you may edit that out. So they said, but that baby could have survived. No, that baby could not have survived. That baby had no brain. Like, it's this thing of, oh well, that doesn't exist, and I'm saying that doesn't exist, so that's true.
Yeah.
So termination for medical reasons, TFMR, excellent. If anybody is in a situation or knows anybody or even wants to read anything on fatal fetal abnormalities, then have a look at TFM or termination for medical reasons. Excellent organisation.
We will tag some of these on Facebook, and see, you know, if anyone's looking for any help or any insight into this, there will be that option there as well.
Yeah, actually, I want to add one more thing. Sorry.
Yeah,
there you go.
Anti-choice stuff to say about adoption.
Yeah.
Just give the baby up for adoption, right? It doesn't work like that. It's only recently now that, like I was saying, the majority of women that travel for abortion are already parents, but they they say, well, why don't you just give the baby up for adoption? It's only recently now that this has changed, but it used to be the case where if you had a baby and you put that baby up for adoption and you already had children, you have to give up the right to your own children at the same time and risk them being taken to care in order to give your other child up for adoption, your baby. So that's just not feasible. But also in Ireland, adoption, I'm sure everybody knows how hard adoption is now in Ireland, right? So I actually went on and I looked up the statistics for for the last few years on adoptions in Ireland, right? So domestic infant adoptions, so this is the only statistic I could took out because it was more relevant to the situation. So this is an infant adoption, right? In 2016 there were only 5. 2015 there were 7, 2014 there were 6, 2013 there were 10, and 2012 there were 3. But yet in Ireland there are over 6,000 children in foster care, and they are the amount.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's mad when you think of the numbers, like.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The numbers just don't match up. Like, you can't say they do.
No.
That's crazy.
So yeah, and don't forget to check out that page.
In her shoes.
In her shoes. Women of the 8th.
In her shoes.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. I think we've covered everything. So guys, that's it. This has been Brian and Barry.
Yeah, and so
Amy from the
thanks, Stain.
Thanks very much for coming on. You know, and like we said, we have Amy side with the pro-choice this week, and now next week we have a person coming on as well for the pro-life side of the Repeal the 8th. So make sure and tune in, and then after the 2 weeks, then you can make up your own mind what kind of side of the fence you're on. So this has been the Slip of the Lip podcast. Thanks very much for listening.